Hi guys, JP here from Biz Video, and really excited for you guys to be watching this interview with Tim and Victoria from Lucian Constructions today. We go through everything from their previous background to how they started the business, to how we've been helping them, and the massive transformation that they've seen and where they're going to be going from here on in. So sit back and enjoy. Guys, thank you so much for being open to jumping on and chatting with me here today.
Thanks for having us.
Absolute pleasure. Really, really great. And for both of you, because I think both of you bring such unique aspects from your business, unique backgrounds as well, before you started Lucian, and we'll jump in that in a sec. But to dive right in, if we start with Lucian Constructions, Tim, Tori, where did you guys come from and why did you start Lucian?
Yeah, I think obviously majority of that comes from my background and my dad. He and mum always bought, renovate and sold houses as long as I can remember. That was our childhood growing up, was forever being involved in a renovation of some sort. And it got me swinging a hammer as soon as I could hold one, and virtually developed a passion from there. So it was good. I always knew that I wanted to be a builder throughout, my entire life. So it was always working towards that one goal, and inevitably being a builder and working for myself. So it's a great outcome.
Yeah. Excellent. And I know just little bits I've heard here and there, getting to know you guys, you were quite strategic with where you picked up skills before starting Lucian. It was a timing thing. You wanted to get enough sort of experience under your belt.
Yeah, definitely. One of those things, having been involved in the industry, seeing good, bad and ugly throughout, and listening and talking to people about their experiences, it was always something that once we kicked off, we only wanted to go one way and do it the right way from the start. So it was absorbing as much information as we possibly could, going through the course and getting the different levels of experience in different roles so that we could position ourselves from day one with the right structure and the right ability to be able to go out and take contracts and put people's livelihood in our hands. Yeah.
Definitely. And so if we looked at those backgrounds, what are some of the roles, the key roles that you've taken away?
So apprentice carpenter would have been the first dive into actual construction. I won my apprenticeship at the Gold Coast show through a company called Boss Homes. Yeah. So it was a school-based sort of entry into that. They did a few different things and then ended up at the Gold Coast show with a bit of hands-on experience building a table, which was good fun. Yeah, and it was a great way to get enthused about what we were doing. My dad ended up coming on and working for the same company while I was there, and that's how we inevitably met my brother-in-law Terry, who's also a builder. Yeah, so it's good. It's a family sort of outfit there, and we sort of expanded from there. Spent a few years as a leading hand carpenter there. Went on to sort of contracting, running our own business through subcontracting to other builders. Yeah. Gained that experience and just slowly worked my way up the food chain into a supervisory role for years, and then in-house for a big company doing their estimating and looking after their display homes and things like that. Yeah. And then got to that point where we were like, right, let's go out and do it for ourselves.
Yeah. And Tori, you come with your own background of experience and passions. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so I'm from London, and my dad was always buying and renovating. It's the same story there. I grew up in renovations. We were always building and moving up to the next bigger house. Yeah. And I actually met Tim in London when me and my brother were renovating our family home. Now, me and my brother were amateurs. We had absolutely no idea what we were doing. And I found out that Tim was a carpenter. I was like, well, you'll be handy. You can come and help us do that. And we've been together ever since, doing property and renovating.
Were you dating while you were working on the house?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was the start of our relationship. Property and travel was a big part of Tim and I. Yeah. And then we decided to move to Australia, and again, straight into the property market. We bought an investment property that was completely gutted, termites, and renovated that straight off. And the goal was always to have our own business, but like Tim said, I came from a corporate background, so bringing the corporate side to our business was really important, and Tim wanting to make sure that he had all knowledge and experience from every aspect of the business was really important. And we've noticed it seems to be a little bit streamlined and a bit the processes and systems we've done quite condensed and quite quickly because of the experience and knowledge that we've had from that.
Yeah, that's definitely something I have noticed with you guys. And I do want to just tap your brain some more in that, maybe outside of this discussion, but you guys have got great systems in place, but you over-communicate. That's a big thing you guys both have told me. Whether you last week you were saying, whether you, even in the prelim stage, you treat it like it's the agreement, it's the, to the thing.
Yeah. You start how you mean to go on, and that's I suppose over the years of working with clients, in different capacities, you learn how much they don't know and how much people fret when they're building. Like for some people it's a really enjoyable experience and they go through it, they understand the process, or they might be very well researched, and then everyone else is kind of falling into a space where they've got no idea what's going on, and being able to educate and keep them communicated keeps them more comfortable, and it limits that stress and that concern as to what's coming next or how things happen or what things might be.
We try and stop the surprises. I love my documents. I create lots of documents, so there's lots of stuff we send through. There's lots of checklists and notes and everything. It's just because I look at myself and when we were doing it, I go, what's next? Whereas, actually having something to see what's next without having to worry. It eliminates the surprises of not knowing what's coming. You can see it all there.
Yeah, it means the client's that much more educated throughout the whole process. Yeah.
Just comfortable and happier, and you'd rather point it in their direction, have it come from our perspective to theirs, rather than have their uneducated is probably a little bit harsh, but their point of view coming at questions with you with concern. Why is this? What is that? If you've given them enough information, it's so much easier, and you're in control, and they feel like you're in control, so they just sort of kick back and roll with it and enjoy that experience so much more than constantly being on the edge of their seat waiting for the next thing to physically appear, or wondering what's next, or why something happened.
Or the next tradie knocking on the door going, oh hello, I didn't know you were coming today. Stopping all of that stuff, they're already ready for it and know exactly what's coming. So.
And they're not chasing you either.
No.
They've got everything ahead of them. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it takes less of our time to be that way, not more.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's something that we want to try and educate the market on, but also our clients, because we work with builders at all different stages of their life cycle, and that's one thing that we have experienced doing this. We help 50, 60 plus builders, so it's crazy. Every single one of them is so different. I think I wanted to jump in and talk about with you guys, different from many of the builders I speak to, is and Tori, we were talking about this just earlier. You came across us right around the time that you guys were starting Lucian Constructions. Yes. How long after so first of all, how long has Lucian been going for?
When did we start? Oh, just over a year and a half now?
Yeah, it would have been
June 20.
It's been a roller coaster ride since we started. It's always been fun, but it would be about 18 months, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, just under 2 years, call it. Yeah. Obviously been in the pipeline for a lot longer than that, and working towards that goal, and we had everything sort of ready to go, and it was just a matter of waiting for the right time, age of the kids. So turn around and go, right, now's the point, we're going to break away and get it done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. And so you guys started Lucian, and then where were the first projects? What were they like, and where were they coming from?
Yeah, it was, it was an easy start, and that as soon as we told a handful of people that we were going to do it, it just appeared virtually, which was good. And we had a couple of people that we knew that were, okay, when you're ready, come and do our project. We'll just wait until you're set up and ready to go, which was really cool. It was nice to already have that, right. And people that knew who we were and what we were capable of, just willing to go, perfect, I'll just, that's there ready to go.
Makes a big difference, when someone knows you guys, gets you, same wavelength.
I knew Tim and had followed Tim since he was 15 and won his apprenticeship and has seen everything he's accomplished and all of the, builds and things that you've been involved with. As soon as he went out by himself, it's like, yep, you can come and do mine. So you're very modest with that, but he's got a lot of people that really respect his experience and knowledge. So as soon as he went, I'm out by myself, they jumped, and yeah, it was great. It was really good.
Wow. And then, so a couple months in, you told me earlier that's when you came across us.
My side was the accounts, as always, but then the marketing. I knew that we needed to get our name out there, and I knew that we wanted to have that trust that I was mentioning his friends and family have for him. I wanted to let other people know that about him. So marketing is obviously the best way to do that. And I came across you guys, and I said, we need these guys doing our marketing, because after I started having a look into it, all of the back of the house, the SEOs, the analytics, all of that, it was just going over my head.
Build a strong suit, right?
I loved the videos, the emotion that you brought through, the fact that there is no script and you ask questions and it's all so natural. I just wanted people to get to know Tim and the fact that he is really good at what he does, and if you are going to build, he's going to help you do that without all the stress and the fear that you hear horror stories of. So, we knew
and that which you just mentioned there, how were you communicating that prior to this?
We weren't really. A little bit of marketing.
Like a lot of it, and how a lot of it was operates all word of mouth. I think it was all just word of mouth, and then physically turning up and you do the meet and greet and establish a relationship from that point, rather than trying to establish it previously. And
prior to that point,
the conversation changed when you started to go to those consults, because they'd already...
It was very much, in thinking of it now, having this conversation, those first couple of jobs that we did with people that we knew, and were really like, they were really excited. They were like, finally, we've got a builder that we know can come and do our work. It's almost gone back to that with the marketing that we've got now, because you're establishing a relationship without actually being there. So when you turn up, it's a totally different way of being approached and having that first point of contact. It's like warm leads every single time, even though there's no reference from another person. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, and that is a big thing for us. I mean, that's our goal. But describe a bit more of what it was like between those two periods.
Harder, realistically. It was far more difficult to convert those leads when they did come through, and
getting the right leads too. It wasn't what we were wanting.
Definitely.
To be doing
I don't
as well.
think when people found us, or whether it was through the limited stuff we had on social media or even through word of mouth, they didn't really understand who we were and what we did. So you could turn up, because it was always going, and you'd have a quick phone call and go, yeah, cool, we definitely take care of that type of work. Or you'd turn up, it'd be something totally different to what we're actually looking to do. Or, again, from their perspective, they didn't really understand how things worked. We'd always, go through the motions, point them in the right direction. Whether it was for us or not, it would be determined at that point. But it was, it was 50-50 whether it was actually a job that we wanted to do or could do, or, was worth doing from their point. So it was an uphill battle at that point. And there was so much time spent going out and meeting and greeting people for no real effort, no reason at all. Great to meet people. It's not super productive. But now we've positioned ourselves, and there's an explanation of what we do and how we do it. And so the types of people that are coming our way are like, oh great, you do that specifically. And specifying was a huge thing. But previously it was anything in residential construction. So that would entail anything from people that were had a long maintenance list to huge builds. You get them to come your way and decipher what you wanted in between.
Okay. And I remember we had a coffee catch up over just around the corner there, and the timing wasn't quite right. And it was nice because we had a few catch ups. You came to one of the workshops we ran, so we got to know each other. And then, then you guys came on board maybe 6-8 months later. What was happening in that time period?
Oh no, we met you and knew that you were going to be it. We just needed to get the funds in order to process.
That's
and
funny.
in between.
I remember the first conversation, and when you phoned, you called up and wanting to have a chat. And at that point, I didn't know who JP was. I remember being next to my ute with my hands full and 100,000 things to do and a heap on my plate. And I'm like, who is this guy?
I may not have told him yet.
But it was good. Like, obviously, set up the meet, went and had a coffee, and it was that point where we had a bit of a brain dump, and it was like, it wasn't so much okay, are we going to do this? It's like, right, how do we get this going and put this into motion without dividing our business in two. So it wasn't ever okay, that's a maybe. It was, I remember walking from there to here going, right, what do I need to do to make this happen? And sure enough, it was just a matter of waiting for our business to mature to a level where we're like, okay, we've got structure in place, we've got a pipeline that's going to work into that. And it's that chicken or the egg scenario, like going back, you 100%, you could do that first, but there'd be no point in putting that stress on yourself. But if you're in the capacity to do it, like just bang, get it done, off you go, makes things so much easier.
Big time. Yeah, that is something that's, I think a lot of people come on board with us and go, oh, I wish I'd done it earlier. Whereas with you, it's nice to have that conversation as early as almost possibly we could, and then we could then time it perfectly.
I think it worked out well. We're probably one of the rare occasions where we had a plan and we had a business plan and an outline of where we wanted to be and where we were going to position ourselves, and it was just a matter of working that into the outgoings of the business.
Yeah, that's it. And then, so you guys came on board, and the first part of for those who are watching this and don't know much about our process, we have the vision and the story development. That's first before we touch a camera. What did you get out of that?
Oh, so much. I loved doing that because we sat in our office, we had our whiteboard, and you obviously send us questions and we've got to answer them, and it really made us, we always kind of knew what both of us wanted to do, but it really made us structure it even more into detail and be a lot more specific with it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best terminology, is it specifies to a level that you didn't quite have before. And between the three of us, our supervisor Terry come on board and was really involved in that process. Amazing. And knuckled down what was going well and what, there were certain things that were going really well for us that we didn't really register at the time. You put all that together and actually see it in front of you and see all of those common aspects throughout the different questions, and it points you north in a different way to what you were already heading. Like we had that goal and that vision in mind, but it just refined it all and made it better.
Nice. Excellent. Oh, good. Yeah. Good. I'm really glad to hear that, because that's a big thing we love to see all of our builders go through. When they have an idea of, like what you just said, you have an idea of what you're wanting to achieve and communicate and where you want to take the business, but then going through that, the clarity out the other side of that. And then you mentioned earlier, we don't script anything.
No,
was that a surprise
really
to you? Were you expecting scripts or?
I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
And Tim and I told Tim that he's going to be in front of a camera, and the two of us are a little bit nervous about it. But it doesn't feel that way, because I think we have so many meetings and stuff, and you sit down and you forget it's there, and it not being scripted, it comes across so natural and so honest and raw, and I love that. And we've had a lot of compliments of the video and asking who did the script, and it's like, no, we answered questions. That's Tim.
Words?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was everything that you felt with regards to it, and it comes across in the video. Yeah. And that emotion is great.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, like everyone, even I get nervous. I mean, you saw me get tongue-tied at the start of this video, you know what I mean? And this, I'm not even looking at the camera, I'm just chatting with you guys. So everyone has that, but you're right. Once you go through our process and you just get comfortable, and then it's just a conversation. Yeah. It's easy.
You move past that. I don't think either of us are confident in front of a camera, but it doesn't feel that way. And going through that process, You know, you always have the nerves when you turn up because you've got that image of what it's like to be in front of the camera, but it's just not that way. You know, like say you're firing questions back and forth and just, you know, really shooting from the hip and
We're just talking to JP. It's great.
That's it.
Yeah.
And other thing, I know you guys, I mean, love the vision that you guys have shared with us, that where you want to go, and we can't wait to help you guys get there. In terms of the project side of things, I know for a lot of people that's something that can hold them back from coming on board. I don't have the right projects. Did you guys, when you guys came on board, did you feel like you had the perfect projects already? Was that a concern? Like, oh, what are they going to shoot? What are they going to film? What are they?
Yeah, I think it's always a concern because you want to advertise that aspect of it, and I'm still guilty of it. We still look at things and go, no, I don't want to market that, even though some of it's good work. You've got an image idea, you know, an idea in your head of what you think you want it to look like, but it really wasn't an impact. The day we came to shoot, I don't think we had much going on at all. But it's not the point in that story overview, because it's more about who you are and what you do, rather than what you're doing right then.
And the reason I love the overview is it's more about, this is Tim, like I was saying earlier, it's explaining who he is and who we are as a family, and then adding in a little bit of the construction side.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, on that, what did you notice first when that story started getting out there? What was the first thing you noticed?
We became a builder, not a mum and dad business owner, I think.
I never really classified it as a mum and dad builder. When I thought about it in my head, but it shifts the market presence that you have and the way people look at our business, and even friends and family and things like that. Obviously, everyone will ask, how's business going? And most of the time we just go, oh, busy. More interested in the personal side of things in that environment. But the weekend we were at a birthday party, and everyone just looks at it, and they look at our business like in a totally different way, having seen that material and, you know, everything that we do. And like, you get so many nice compliments saying, you know, you position yourself in a really nice way, like you're doing it different to everyone else, like, and they point out our points of difference that sometimes you listen to it and go, oh yeah, like, you know, you're right, but it's nice having that feedback. And previously, even people close to us wouldn't know that, because you don't take your friends and family to work and they don't see it all. You just kind of go, oh yeah, you know, work, business is great, like I've got good clients, we've got some cool projects, but they don't see that other side to it.
Almost makes those around you ambassadors for you.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And they can actually articulate your difference.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not just, oh, go talk to Tim and Victoria, they're builders. Oh no, you should really go talk to them because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. So it's instant impact on more than just a client and a prospective client point of view. Everyone that surrounds you sort of looks and understands a bit more of who you are and how you do things and what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, big time. And then, so that was the initial thing you started to notice, like those sorts of things. And then Richard and Brittany been taking it that step further with paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram, and getting you guys even broader and putting in the process, the funnel. What difference has that made?
Massive. It's so good.
Yeah, it's that concept of farming for your leads rather than hunting for them, and it's constantly out there.
Can you break that down? Because that's something I come up against a lot when someone, and I know we were talking about this just earlier when we grabbed a coffee.
Yeah.
The amount of people that come to me and go, well, how many leads can you guarantee me? So that's not how this works.
Yeah. No,
but can you articulate that for
I think
others?
That process, rather than getting to a point where you're like, okay, I've got a spot to fill, and actually going out and physically jumping on the phone and actively looking and talking to people and, you know, really, really chasing it, putting in a lot of work to get one, maybe two jobs on the books. Yeah. That resource in the marketing campaign and those paid adverts, everyone's seeing it and constantly seeing what we're doing to a point where they know what we do, and when they're ready, they're going to pick up the phone rather than us having to physically go after them. Yeah. And it's over a long period of time. Like even from now, we'll get people that are like, okay, I'm ready to go towards the end of next year, rather than, hey, I need a builder now. You've got all of that stuff popping up, and you can start looking at your timeframes in a different way. And those are things that will constantly keep going. There'll be people 2, 3, 4 years in advance that are seeing what we do now and going, great, like I really want to do this. We're looking at one this afternoon that they're looking to do a bit of work now, but it's their house for 10 years from now.
Yeah, right.
So if people have got those timeframes in mind and those plans, and if they see what we're doing and who we are, we can come on in a couple of different capacities, and then there's that work ongoing for all of that time.
How much of a difference does that make to you guys?
It's massive. Yeah, it's absolutely huge, and we get clients. Like one that we're working through a building approval now.
Yeah.
And the day we turned up, it was you could see the smile, like he's here. It's really funny. But he's like, I saw your adverts on Facebook, and I thought his actual words were, if you've got advertisements on Facebook, you must know what you're doing. I'm like, I can't see the correlation between that and knowing how to build, but sure, I'll take it.
I'll take it. That's right. Yeah. That's good. That's excellent. Yeah. That's really good to hear, guys. Man. Love hearing those stories.
Yeah.
Maybe if we jump back a bit, I'm not sure if I touched too much on that. What were maybe some of your fears or trepidations before coming on board? What was it that...
They're all gone now.
That's really good to hear, I'm glad. But what were they? Because that's going to, I think, resonate with people out there that are currently sitting on the fence. Maybe I've talked to them, or maybe I haven't talked to them.
I don't really, I don't remember having, I wouldn't call it a fear. I don't fear a lot. And once we'd sat down and worked out the nuts and bolts and the benefits of it all, it wasn't okay, it's a maybe, we'll see how it goes. It was like, yes, we're doing this straight away. I think some of the apprehension is being on film, and actually putting ourselves out in that way. I think that's where Tori came in a huge benefit, and not only just in that, but she was like, no, this is definitely how we need to go. Like, if we want to structure ourselves as the business that we do, we need that. And you're the face, you're the people that you need to develop trust with. Off you go. Basically, there was I didn't get much
Start
of a choice.
getting comfortable with it.
Get comfortable with it.
But he's thanking you now, right?
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah. And you're feeling more comfortable with it, like you say.
Yeah.
I think it's more the thought, but when you get in here, you realise that it's actually not as scary as you first think it is. And I think another feel for you was presenting the right projects. We have a goal in mind of what sort of projects we want to be doing. And like you said, not having those projects, but then realising at the same time, you don't have to have them to be portraying who you are as the value that we have as being a builder.
What you can achieve for people.
And his knowledge and experience, you can start there before you have that project that you want to market as well.
Big time,
yeah. I would agree with that. There's always a consideration for anyone when they look at their business and what their construction business is achieving. It can be very project focused. We try not to do that with the clients that we bring on. Like, everyone's job is just as important as everyone else's.
Of course.
Some of them are a lot more fun, and you get some really quirky, different things that go on. But you want to market the really, really nice things that you do, because people love to look at it. So you kind of wrap that up in your own mind and go, okay, that's the only thing we can market, which is not true.
As a blocker for us, maybe.
And I can't quite remember. I think there may have been, but you guys came on board. We created those stories. We started getting it out there, and then there's always that time where, like you said, it's a long-term thing, and so those seeds are getting out there. They're getting watered. Was there a time period where you're like, oh, is this that you had second thoughts or cold feet, or like, oh, is this actually going to work? Or
no.
No.
Well, do you know
should
what?
see our
I think we asked the question. I think we hassled Richard. I don't know if you remember when that was, but we're kind of like, right, how long, how many leads should we be expecting? It's everything that you do is result driven to a certain degree. So there's but it was more, okay, what's the usual? Not okay, phone hasn't rung off the hook and we've been advertising for a day. Like it wasn't quite like that. But I think we launched the marketing in a really good time where everyone's wanting building work. So there wasn't a huge delay from that interest coming in from that resource. And it's been fairly constant, if not growing since then. So as that reach gets further and further, and those different types of people that, you know, we've discussed that are like, okay, I've seen it, and they're rolling through the process and how they think the process goes before they pick up the phone or, you know, jump on the website. But it's regular now, rather than having to go out and look for it and wondering where people are at. It just sort of pops up and we can review and put them into the system.
And going on from that, it's an ongoing refinement of who we're targeting with Richard. We get a monthly call, a monthly discussion. Each month they send through the angles. Brittany's amazing at the copywriting and what photos and what videos they're going to use. And each month it just gets refined more and more, so the leads that are coming through are more what we're aiming for in the bigger picture. Every single month it's just getting better and better. It's great.
Yeah, that's good. And so as it gets better, another question. With what we've set up for you guys, when that lead comes to you, how's it being presented?
In such a better way than what we were doing it before. So getting that traffic through the website, the inquiry form with, you know, as much detail as what we would normally be looking to get over a phone call, we can review from start to finish where the job is, where they're at in the process, you know, who they are, what their expectations are, what their budget is, and get a really, you know, it's really a 2-minute read of the incoming job to see, okay, yeah, they sound like a great client, or, oh no, that's not really for us, and they can be split in those two different ways. No, yes. Yeses go through to that phone call, you get a little bit more information, and it's such a better way to have them come on board, so you're not spending a huge amount of time figuring all of that stuff out. The client's doing all of that work, and it just gets fed into our project management software, and it's there ready to go. So as soon as you're ready to sit there and make a bunch of phone calls and go through it all, and it would be less than a third of the time compared to how we were doing it prior, with better information.
Better projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
And better projects.
Yeah. It's like whack-a-mole. We'll just knock the bad ones away and keep all the good ones.
Whack-a-mole. That's incredible to hear. One question that I was talking to a few people prior to having this conversation with you, and these are people who I've either had conversations with or just builders in the industry who've been watching these interviews that I do and putting questions to you guys. One that came from a couple down south in Victoria was, how do you guys operate? Your husband and wife team, business, life? Some say you want to find a balance. Some say they're one and the same. How does that space look for you guys?
We each have our own departments, which I think is very important to have. But we have an office at home that Tim built for us in our shed. It's great. We work quite well, but like I said earlier, we met and worked together.
We work better together, which is a huge benefit, with two, you know, from completely opposite ends of the world, but we managed to come together and bring our different experience in a really positive way. And I think when you find something that you love doing, it doesn't really feel like going to work, and that's the huge bonus. So it's not, you do need balance. You've got to have your work life, your family life, and and everything in between. I think they fall in together because it's the two of us working together. And there's not like I've been at work for far too long and spent no time with my wife. Yeah. We're constantly in each other's world. So yeah,
and how important
brings us closer.
Sorry. No. One thing I heard from someone else who was speaking into this space, someone who's very successful, similar, him and his wife work together, and he was saying that people are like, oh, you just talk business all the time with your wife then, and it's like, not really, because this is our vision, this is our goal, we're working this, so it's an adventure we get to go on together every day.
Dead right. Yeah. And I think for us too, like I spend probably more time at work now, but it's in your own way.
It doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't feel like it, and we've got more flexibility at times to turn around and go, rather than being stuck at work, right? If you're stuck in your 9 to 5, you're very limited at your opportunity. Whereas we can turn around and structure our day to go and have lunch, not that it happens all the time, but we can. And most of the time, even if we do go for lunch, we're having like a business meeting,
strategy meeting and talking
about it. But it's always enjoyable conversation. Where are we going? How are we going to get there? What do we want it to look like? Like, what's our next team building day going to be? Like, it's more fun.
We're both good at motivating each other as well, because it's really important as well. And we both have different skill sets. So, you know, parts where maybe I'm not so good, he can bring me up, and vice versa. So it's good.
When the kids are around the school holidays, they can pile into the office and disturb the peace for a bit. Like, it's an easier
You don't give them paperwork to file for you?
Try to. Most of it comes back in different colours. Might have a smiley face or two written on it. I've got sets of plans there where Carter's been writing his name on there.
I improved the plans, Dad.
Look what I marked up for you.
Yeah. What's like having you guys there? You mentioned having each other to lift the other one up when the other one, you know, goes through, you know, low periods or something like that. That's part of business and life, and that's awesome to hear. One friend and builder that we know in common that you guys are very, really good friends with. He made a comment the other day which made me think to bring the question to you guys. Is it just video when you work with Biz Video?
No.
No.
It's everything.
What is it?
It's your whole marketing you don't need to worry about. They do your Facebook, your Instagram, photos, videos. They do the copywriting, so they put a little script together that make you sound amazing, and you read it and go, oh, that's nice. And it just takes that whole stress away. They look at all of your analytics and everything. So, no, it's not just video. It's everything.
I think with every person, every supplier, every subcontractor, every staff member, no matter what aspect of the business it is, it's team, right? And we all have that common goal. We know where each other's going, and you guys are very much part of the team. It's not, okay, we'll ring up and we need something done, and it's not that cold conversation. Like, I don't think we've once ever had a chat that hasn't led to a smile, a laugh, or a how was your weekend? Like, it's not that relationship, and it's the same with everyone. You ring up and it's always happy. Yeah. Like, and it's a great relationship with yourself and the rest of the team. Like, there's not one person you wouldn't stop in the street and have a 10-minute conversation with. It's not work. It's relationships. But you're part of our business. You know, Tim said we sometimes go and have business strategies and things like that. You're involved in that. We're like, oh, we have to tell JP, we have to tell Richard, because it's a massive part of us building our business. You guys are heavily involved in that, to be able to put the word in a way that our clients and people can understand what we're trying to achieve. Sharing the wins.
Yeah.
Jumping on the phone, telling, sharing, especially with yourself, like, great conversations.
Love that.
And it's easy transfer information because you know it's working. So we capitalise on that, but in an easy way.
And I mean, we all love working with you guys here for a number of reasons. But like you said, one in particular is that you guys see us as partners, which is massive. That's the relationship for us. That's ideal, because it means you're sharing wins with us, you're sharing feedback. You have a conversation with someone, and on site maybe, and then you're letting me know straight away how that was. And then, or when you catch up with Rich, you're giving him the feedback, because then that leads into it. Or, like we're discussing at the moment with the case studies you got coming up, you've got this project happening or it's about to finish, and so we can plan ahead and put things in place so that you guys can always be proactively moving in the right direction.
You make us feel like it's your wins, not just our wins, like we are a big team together, all achieving those wins together.
Our team celebrates every time you guys win. Yeah. Like when you called me that day, we just secured this, to let you know that, it's that was massive. Shared with the team, and everyone was celebrating. Yeah.
That's good.
That
should be.
I agree, for sure. Same with I know when you've shared with me with your clients, that's how you treat your clients. Is sharing in their wins and going on that journey with them.
We partner with them. Well, that's a big thing of our marketing. Before your renovation partner, we partner with you to make everything run smoothly. Yeah.
And what's next for you guys? Because I know we've got some epic case studies coming up, some amazing stuff coming up. what's the future look like for Lucian Constructions?
Good question.
Yeah.
There's
lots.
of
What are we gonna
growth. There's lots
say?
of growth. There's lots of plans, and we've always had a really, really good idea of what we want the business to look like long term. Like I think when we sat down early days, we looked at 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, and sort of had that goal and that, you know, that end result in mind. It's same as the process to get the video. It's been refined and improved along the way. I don't think the complete end goal is completely shaped yet, but we're...
And it matures.
Yeah,
It changes.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
the market shifts too. Like, you know, the demand for what's out there will be different every single year. What's next? More staff, more projects, bigger projects.
Developments.
Yeah, our own developments. Yeah. That's always been a big one, and that's where we started off to a certain degree, way back when, and just lots more fun, really. Just keep going at it, keep improving, keep structuring.
Keep building our amazing team of people that, like you say, you want to have dinner with and sit down with, and it's all a win together.
Yeah.
We've got some great people we're working with, and that's why it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun.
I'm going to hit some rapid fire questions. So this is a quick question, and you just say the first thing that comes to mind.
I think before I speak.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't.
Money input versus value output.
Money small, value big.
The ability to now say no.
Yeah. It's nice saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understanding what you're aiming for is really important.
Yeah.
So being able to say no now, it feels good. It shows that we've grown. Great.
I agree. How much of your time did we need?
Yeah, not that much. Yeah, not even a day, I don't think, really.
What if I don't know what to say on video?
You will.
I don't think you get an opportunity to not know.
What does it feel like to have your marketing taken care of?
Yeah, comfortable. It's nice knowing that that's catered for. Have no experience previously with marketing, so it's, you know, you're going something unknown and just putting it in safe hands.
It's not just it being taken away though. I'm very fussy and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, which I'm trying to get better at. It's having it taken away and being done better than expectations. 100%. Yeah.
How does biz video help you nurture those long-term prospects?
It starts off earlier than what you possibly could, because you don't know who is already on board. They come on board so early and silently. By the time they're actually on board, you're at that different level. So it's nurturing those relationships months before they actually come into play.
Yeah, before you even make contact or personally chat with them. Why is it important to nurture long term?
Good question.
Value. People then would honour, what am I saying? It's more about value than price. If you nurture relationships, they want you because there's the trust. They understand our systems. They know that we're going to be able to do a really, really good job and educate them along the way. So it's more for the value.
The right clients will value trust and the person that they want to bring on board more so than the contract value. It's a more important relationship to know that you can trust that person and put your faith in them than how much they're charging. So you nurture that relationship long term, and money's not the point of you winning that contract. It's who you are and how you do it.
And then the whole process is so much better because the respect and the understanding and the value of the project, there's just a loving relationship there with all of our clients. Yeah.
Is it all about inquiries and leads, or what about awareness, branding?
I never once looked at this what you guys do as lead income.
No, me neither.
How it helps us convert leads is phenomenal, and it's that the level of comfort they have and the position that we have in the market and how our business gets seen. The marketing gets transferred through all of our documentation. When we send out the calendar invite for the initial consult, the videos there, they land on our website, they start seeing it, and they become comfortable with who we are, and it helps that conversion be so much easier, rather than tuning out for a half hour talking about the project and they've really got no idea anything outside of that. They're able to figure out all of that stuff, so no matter how they come on board, whether it's through a previous client, a next door neighbour, or they've come through the marketing campaign that we've got going on, it's there and it's in place to alleviate that get to know you process, and the conversion rate's so much better than what you would possibly believe.
Wow. That's excellent. How long did it take for you to start seeing results?
Not far off being straight away, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we
We used it for conversion with clients that we already had in the pipeline. So, like Tim said, even though you wait sometimes for the marketing on Facebook and Instagram, you can already use that video on sales that you've already got working. So, pretty much straight away.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go further.
Pretty self-explanatory, that one.
Cool. How many videos did you guys get originally?
Yeah.
3 short and 1 overview.
Yeah.
So the little ones for Facebook and Instagram, and then our long overview video to show who we are and what we do and who Tim is.
I think it's just constantly getting reworked from all of the footage that was shot. So, how many we started with compared to how many you can actually get out of that one day is, well, not even a day.
Yeah.
And you take photos from that as well, and things, so you get lots.
Yeah. That's good. And how would you? What would you guys add to someone? Because some people are like, oh, I want, they're fixated on the video, and they're like, I want this many videos. But they're like, we can't afford that right now, and that holds them back. Whereas you guys are like, let's start with option 1, and now we're going that next level.
I'm very system based, so I like to go a bit slower because then I can incorporate. For example, we get the overview video. I can then incorporate that into our systems. I can then have the small, short ones and incorporate them. I think if you have it all at once, you don't get round to using them. Whereas when you do it a little bit slower, we're about to do our case studies. We're ready for those. They're ready to be put on our website and put into our system. So it just, instead of doing it all at once, doing it a bit slower.
Systematic growth,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
You start off with one thing and then just keep going with more.
Yeah.
It's like our video with the ripple effect. You drop the pebble in a piece of water and just watch it grow. Like it works on
So many
different
levels. Yeah.
And it's the same. You start with one and you'll end up with who knows how many. I can see that we're a lot more, and we'll just constantly reuse that content and enjoy it the whole time.
And you guys help us with understanding where we're at and what could work and all of everything that you have on offer.
Yeah. Whether it's a good time or no, let's hold off on that, or let's make the most of this now, or here's an opportunity, or let's push it out, or definitely. I know every now and again there's little lines that come up that are like favourites in our team, and the one from you guys is the best thing I ever built was a family.
Yeah.
Like that's powerful, It just shows where your heart lies. It shows what's important to you. And I think that resonates with a huge amount of people, but also the right people. Those that also value that. Yeah. When's the best time to come on board with us?
Now.
Yeah. Straight away.
It doesn't matter if you're starting, if you're in the middle, if you're, it doesn't matter how long you've been going or if you're just start up, it will work.
I think you change your mindset and open yourself to that conversation and what BizVideo are able to achieve for you, and something you start off with just the idea, and then work onwards and upwards, so that you don't have to jump in and go instant video. It's not, you know, it's not part of the whole picture, right? You jump on board and get an indication of what you can do for that business and then grow it.
And it's just a starting point, that initial as well. It's constantly refining, it's constantly changing, it's constantly adding more and more information as we're getting more information, and as we're growing, you know, we're constantly adapting to
One
everything.
of those things for people coming on board, you've just got to be honest and share what your vision is and what your goals are, and let you guys understand the business and implement structure to go with it.
Yeah, that's a big part of our process. Is let's first have a conversation. Where are you at? What are the challenges you're facing? Where do you want to go? And then we can go, yes, that's something that we can help with, or no. Either not at all, or now's not a good time, or
I think it's funny thinking about it and having this conversation, looking at the roles reversed. We constantly go out and see clients and we're trying to garner their trust and, you know, and let them tell us everything that they need to for us to help them best. It's roles reversed in that situation, and you've got to try and, you know, get the trust, and, you know, once you've got it there, it's just so much easier.
It doesn't take long.
No.
Awesome. You guys smashed it. That's it.
Done.
Yeah.
there you go.
Thank you for having us.
Big pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Always a